Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B, a space designed for live conversations with those who have found and live their joy. Checking in today is Kareem the Dream Thompson, musician, pan player extraordinaire, lecturer, and much more. Welcome, Kareem.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, Kareem, tell me, how did your journey in music begin?
Well, begins with the most inspirational person in my life, which is my grandfather. He introduced me to not just the steel pan because I actually played djembe first. That was actually my first instrument. Shortly after I started um, playing pan, and he introduced it to me. He's a former member of Hylanders in Trinidad, so he just brought the culture straight to me.
And what's your grandfather's name, Kareem?
Edgar spots Fitzgerald.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that out there.
Right, right.
So then what happened? What happened after that?
Things just started elevating. He started like getting private lessons, and it wasn't just me. It was me and my uncles, my twin uncles, which are his sons. He started getting us music lessons. So one of our first teachers was Scipio Sarge.
I remember Sophia.
Yes, he taught us up until he passed away in the early 2000s. I think it was around 2004, 2005. From him, it was Ralph Robinson and Clive Bradley, and
Yeah, the great son.
yeah. So because I was taught by those greats, it always elevated me to keep wanting to get better, keep wanting to get better. So, ooh, those are the days, man. Because practice like every day, it felt like um, plenty of lessons, plenty of jazz. Um, Go ahead, you look like.
What, yeah, I was going to ask you, what is it about jazz? Because a lot of your music is centered around jazz.
Mm,
And yet you play so many other different genres, but
right.
jazz seems to be your baby. What is it about jazz that speaks to you?
Jazz brings a challenge. For me, it brings a challenge. Trying to learn all these different melodies, um, all the different changes, and is a challenge. I'll encourage anybody to play jazz because it really opens you up. And then when you compare jazz to other genres of music, it's almost like because you know jazz, it just makes it a little bit much easier to learn and analyze.
Almost a foundation that you can build upon anything else.
Right.
Okay. But what is one of those mentors? What are some of the things that they told you that really resonated with you or showed you?
Well, Bradley, my biggest memory is probably with Bradley. He was teaching us in my house. I think this was 99 or 2000. He was teaching me in my family band, K.I.T Caribbean Connection. He was teaching us in my house. So we learned the song, gave us an intro and stuff like that. So he was, I don't know, he just goes solo. And at that time, I never like I learned written solos before, like Sarge will teach me a solo, but this was the first time it was like fully improvised, and I didn't know what to play. And that like from there, I feel like that was the takeoff point to like really start studying improvisation and stuff like that. It was a really good experience because I was when I say caught off guard, I didn't know what to play. I just looked at him like this, and he was like, "Well, you know the G sharp major scale, right? It's out there." And then from there, it was like, "All right, another challenge for me to try to conquer."
Wow. Because at that time you were still very young.
Yes,
Yes. How old were you around that time?
12 or 13.
Right. So you had this wealth of knowledge from these great musicians around you. And then later on you decided to pursue your education and you left New York. What happened there? Because you went to Florida and Boston. Tell me about a little bit about that
Yeah.
journey.
So this is so there was a competition in Mega Evers College, a scholarship to go to Florida Memorial University, and I was fortunate enough to win the scholarship. Um, I don't remember names. I'm really, really bad with names. Cheryl Byron.
Yes.
Yes. I'm trying to remember the name of her company.
Something positive.
Yes, something positive. Yes. Um, yeah, and from there, and I actually won that at the age of 13. I was still in middle school when I won the scholarship. Yeah, so that opportunity was always there. Um, so when I finished high school, um, things weren't really going too good in New York, so it was a really good idea to go out of state. And from there, I met you, and which I'm very fortunate for because you really open up my brain in ways that I don't even think you know or realize.
And thank you for saying that. And after Florida Memorial, you went on to Berklee School of
Berklee, yes,
Music. And are you
yes,
lecturing there now?
yes.
So tell me about the Berklee journey.
Berklee is going really good. This is my 5th year at Berklee. Um, just within the last few years, I've started teaching more classes like jazz improvisation classes and different ensembles. The steel pan ensemble, of course, the steel pan lab, and I'm teaching all the steel pan students at attend Berklee. And it's been going really, 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 really good. Like I'm fortunate to be able to teach at Berklee, and it's going really, really well.
That's amazing. How are you balancing everything that you do in New York, because you have a band in New York as well,
Mhm.
and teaching at Berklee? How are you balancing that?
So the way I set up my schedule for Berklee, I put all my classes in one day. So yeah, just go up on a Wednesday, come right back, and it's very tiring
Oh my gosh,
because yeah,
I cannot imagine.
it's very tiring balancing that, my family, music, even like private lessons. Got to do a ton of private lessons. It gets really really difficult because I still want to compose. I still want to have time to, spend with my family. So I'm juggling it, but it's definitely not easy.
Yeah. What about the band in New York? What's the name of the band in New York?
K.I.T Caribbean Connection.
Okay, so you still have KIT. Do you have another band
Yeah.
as well?
Uh, I play in so much different bands, but I would say that's like my main band.
Yeah.
That's
And
my band. Yeah.
and the members of the band with are they the same from?
Yes. The only addition from way back in the early 2000s is KJ Marcel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you're speaking about composing. What
Hmm.
kind of music are you composing? Is it jazz? Is it and for what instrumentation?
Um, well, right now I'm trying to put out an all pan album. So maybe just like tenor, seconds, guitar, percussion, and like a did up or something, and an electric bass. So I've been doing a lot of that, but is I feel like all my music will have some element of jazz in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I try to include all my influences in my music.
What has been the most difficult part of juggling the music, family, teaching? What's the most difficult part?
I would say trying to be consistent.
How so?
Um, well, me, I'm a person that still loves to practice as much as possible, um, and that's on all instruments. I just picked up electric bass recently. Um, yeah, so just being consistent and trying to stick to a schedule, and I think that's the most difficult part.
Electric bass. That's that. What? Why? Why did you pick up electric bass?
I love bass. when
Mhm.
I'm listening to music, most of the time the bass line is what I'm listening to first.
Yeah.
Like I really, really love bass.
I remember years ago at the Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival, the bass player, he was saying um, that the bass is the oomph, the
Mm,
really important part of the music that keeps it all together.
yep. Yep.
Are you finding in your music that you are paying more attention to the bass lines now?
Definitely. Yes. Trying to come up with like different ostinatos and yeah. To me the bass is where it's at.
Hmm.
Bass is. Yeah.
Now the pan bass, the six bass, and then you have the
Hmm.
electric bass. Would the lines that you write for the electric bass be the same as on the pan bass, or do you find yourself varying it a bit?
No, no, but I try to challenge six bass players as much as possible. So I would maybe give them something that an electric bass would play, but not too much because
Yeah, it is different when
yeah,
you're running up and down the strings as opposed to moving around the
right.
hands. What
Mhm,
in teaching your students at Berkeley? What are
mhm.
some of the challenges and what are some of the rewards that you've found in your teaching career?
Um, I think one of the most challenging is having to deal with, uh, I would say within the last I'll say like the last 3 years with the whole COVID thing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's still affecting a lot of students. So
How
that's
how how is it affecting them, do you think?
still adjusting to being in person, and I find like a lot of the staff is bringing up the same issue.
Oh, that everyone is finding that the students are having that difficulty
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in terms of what relationships, in terms of their attention to practice. Oh,
I think yeah, more attention to practice and the work and really like putting in the time.
hmm. Are they more isolated or?
Um, no, they're not isolated. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but it's been a little challenge trying to get them to focus and I don't think is I would per se that it is COVID, but
Mhm,
it's like coming back to school in person because we just came back what, last year. We
mhm.
just came back in person, so
Oh, that's that's something. What about the rewards?
the rewards. I would say there's a lot of rewards. I can tell when the students appreciate the knowledge that they receive. Um, some of my students actually follow me around to my. When I say follow me, like they register for if they have a class with me, they'll make sure I register for another class I'm teaching. Like I can tell they're really gaining the knowledge and enjoying my teaching style.
That's major. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So if you're rating your professor, you're getting high ratings.
Yes,
That's
I would
good.
hope so. Yes.
And you released recently a CD. Speak
Hmm.
a little bit about the CD.
So I like to think about it as not being recent. It was 2017, which was about 6 years ago.
Oh my gosh, is it that? Oh my gosh. I can't
Yeah,
believe it's so long. Wow. So we'll
yeah.
talk about it a little bit. So that means you have another one coming out soon.
Yes. Well, I've
Okay.
been working on it and trying to balance out everything else.
Mhm.
I've been working on it.
So when you're doing your recordings,
Hmm.
what aspects do you like to promote in the music?
Rhythm, um, aspects. When you say aspects, what do you mean?
Okay. Do you find yourself focusing on a particular um, feel, or maybe an emotional movement, or something that you have discovered, in
Mm.
terms of the music itself? Are there
Um,
particular themes that you?
yeah, so I definitely try to have a theme for every album, have some type of meaning behind the music. For my first album, that was like an introduction. For me, it was like an introduction to the world.
Uh-huh.
So I put a little bit of all my influences and all that. So I had like a straight ahead jazz. I had more like a Afro Caribbean jazz. I had more like an R&B jazz. But the next upcoming album, I'm gonna have more of like a. It's gonna be all Afro Caribbean jazz, but all pan though. So it's gonna be very different.
Oh, that's going to be different. You're marrying the African rhythms onto the pan itself
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the arrangements.
Yes.
So your early djembe playing is going to affect that as well.
Exactly. 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 It's all tying together now.
Yeah. So Kareem, you are a consummate musician, but you're also very private. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, wh- how does that translate to you on the stage? Yeah.
So on stage, that's when I feel like I get to fully be myself and show people who I am. So I am a very private person though, and um, I could say it does hinder me a little bit because sometimes people expectations of me maybe what's the word? Not too high, but they maybe be looking for more. I guess people expect way a lot more personality out of me.
Oh, you mean when you go on stage, they want you to jump and prance, sing and
Yes,
dance?
yes, yes.
But
Which is needed sometimes.
yes,
Is needed. Yes, there's a time and place for that.
yeah. But you find that your music, you let the music speak for you.
Right, right.
If you could have one wish in terms of your career, in terms of life in general, what would it be?
Um, one wish. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I want to be able to live everything out. So right now, my thing is to just put out this next album and really try to take it on the road and stuff like that.
Do you have a name for it as yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, we're going to be looking out for it.
Yes, please do.
Yes, yes. And when you say on the road with the full band or by yourself or how?
But with the full band. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now you said that this album coming out is going to be more pan
Mm-hmm.
and focus on pan. So I know in the
Mm-hmm.
band itself you combine different instruments. So are you going to
Right.
do that with the band itself?
No, so this album may include I haven't even chose my band members yet. Yeah.
Okay, so you
But
might
most
be
likely,
expanding the band.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. That's the plan.
With a family band, how have you all been able over these years? Because I know dealing with any family, there are always ups and downs. How have you all managed to keep together with different personalities, different wishes, different wants? How have you all done this?
I think the way we grew up, it makes it a lot easier. We established a lot of things from when we was younger. How we're gonna deal with each other, how we're not gonna deal with each other. It definitely has its ups and downs. It has its pros and its cons. Sometimes when you're too comfortable with people, um, you don't get a lot of things done. But I think that's more on the downs side of it. On the up part, there's a lot of ups because we love being around each other. We love playing music with each other. Um, we love it. It's just to try to balance everything out.
Mm. And your grandfather's still part of the band?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
He was, I guess he was instrumental in laying that foundation because you said earlier
Yes.
on you decided how to be with each other.
Hmm.
What could you remember one of the things that he said in terms of laying that foundation?
Um, I could paraphrase. Just basically telling us to have respect for each other at all times and know how to talk to each other. And if we do disagree, there's a way to go about it and never try to be physical with each other and stuff like that. And that left with us because from then we never no physical fist fights. Of course, there's gonna have the arguments here and there, but for the most part, it's been really good. One thing he really taught us that sticks with all of us is time. Time. He used to have us at gigs really early. If the gigs start at 5, we'll probably be there at like 2:30.
Wow. So
Yeah,
no nonsense about oh just coming
no
up in
nonsense with
time.
time. I've been gigging for over 20 years, and I can count on one hand how much times I've been late for a gig.
That
And
is
that
major.
it
That
really is because as the years go along and you work with other people, you realize that a lot of people is lacking with time, like a lot of people.
and those two things go hand in hand, respect and time, because if you have respect not only for yourself, but for the people you're performing for, you want to be there. You want to be there in
Right,
time to set up and yeah, it's really, really important.
right, and it also taught me a lot about business as well
How so?
because almost relating to what you just said, you want to have respect for other people's time and also you want to make sure and be there. You're doing a job at the end of the day. So,
Interestingly enough, because any musician has to be a business person as well.
mhm.
How have you managed to do that?
So I actually expanded and started my own business, which is Pan Roots Culture. It's my brand and my business. Um, so I kind of use that to expand my personal brand, my personal business. So and yeah.
What are some of the elements that go into Pan Roots culture? What are some of the things? Because is it just focused on the performances or what more?
Performances and I would say everything musically all around. Yeah. Mhm.
Going into publishing of compositions or
Yes.
yes.
Hmm.
And performances for other groups as well?
Yes. Hmm.
Oh. And why
Yeah. So it's not just a Pan Rouge culture is not just centered around me. It's actually something that's that I can offer to the steel band community where I can collab with different businesses and maybe um, take on some things that other people that don't have businesses. Um,
do you find that you're also helping your students in that way?
um, Most of the time, if they ask, I would, but I usually just kind of stick to whatever I'm teaching them at the time. I do throw like little business ideas at them and just throw some things at them that they should keep in mind moving forward.
That's good. That sounds like people should run to your classes.
Mhm.
So, Kareem, what else is happening in life, in music, and what do you see in the future?
Well, right now I just started a video series called Dream Sessions. So I've been releasing videos every week featuring like different musicians that I work with in New York City. So the first one was more like a traditional jazz. The second one I did a composition called 8 Hours a Day by Rupert. Yeah, and that features some musicians from Trinidad. So Zane Rodolfo, Marvin Dolly, BJ Saunders. And it's something I'm gonna see how far I could take it. So I'll be releasing a video every week. Go ahead.
And is this on your website, or where can one find them?
On my YouTube page.
On your YouTube page. Yeah, that sounds like a really exciting project. And your YouTube channel, what's your YouTube channel called?
YouTube.com/Kareem the Dream.
Oh, it's under Cream the Dream. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spell it out for me.
YouTube.com/KAREEM THADREAM.
Okay. Good. So, Kareem, is there anything else you'd like to touch on? Anything else you'd like to say?
Well, not really.
No?
Not really. No.
What else do you see in the future?
For myself?
Mm-hmm.
Endless possibilities. I like to look past the sky, so any and everything that comes my way, I'm gonna try. I love challenges. I love learning. So I feel like once I apply myself and I'm consistent, the sky's the limit.
Wow. I like to look past the sky. I like that. I love that. Well, thank you for speaking with me today, Kareem. It's been so good to catch up.
Likewise.
Right? And big hugs to your family, especially your little one.
Yes, I will.
All
Let
right.
my granddad know I spoke to you.
Yes, please give him my best, my best. Tell him thank you for all he does and to
I will.
continue doing it. All right. Good to see you.
All right, likewise. Take care, Dr. B.
You too, Kareem.
All right.
Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B. In addition to our video podcast, we invite you to join our Jumpstart network at keepyourjoyandrise.com. There you'll have access to questions and answers with our guests, virtual meetups, and opportunities to suggest and participate in workshops and spur-of-the-moment talk and jam sessions. We are creating a community of positive thinkers and doers. Come join.